Hey community, it's our daily Bible reading. I'm Pastor Brett and I have the privilege of reading our passage today. It'll be from Matthew chapter 20, verses 20 through 28. It's going to prepare us for this weekend's message. Pastor Brad is bringing us a message on serving the community, serving others. And we're going to see that it's not just a value, not just that it helps others and it serves and supports the community. It's actually vital for us. We need to be shaped by this value, and it is what helps form a resilient faith within us, a strong faith that can withstand crises. So, cannot wait to connect on Sunday. Don't miss this weekend's message. I got a sneak peek of it from Brad. The passage is fascinating and engaging, and I think it's a message that we need to be reminded of often. I know I do. And today's text in Matthew is going to be a great complement to show us a little bit of the why behind serving and why it is so important in our faith to serve others. Let's read together Matthew chapter 20, verses 20 through 28. Then the mother of Zebedee's sons came to Jesus with her sons, kneeling down and asked a favor of him. "What is it you want?" he asked. She said, "Grant that one of these two sons of mine may sit at your right and the other at your left in your kingdom." You don't know what you're asking," Jesus said to them. "Can you drink the cup I am going to drink?" "We can," they answered. Jesus said to them, "You will indeed drink from my cup, but to sit at my right or left is not for me to grant. These places belong to those for whom they have been prepared by my Father." Then the 10 heard about this, and they were indignant with the two brothers. Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." There's a lot of fascinating things happening in this text, and it starts with the mom, right? The mom of Zebedee's sons. I know it's a strange way of saying it, but essentially the text is trying to emphasize that James and John, who again and again throughout Matthew's gospel are called the sons of Zebedee, James and John have dragged their mom into this. And it seems have asked their mom to plead their case to Jesus. That's why later the rest of the disciples, they're not mad at their mom, they're mad at James and John. "You brought your mom into this. How dare you?" And she says, I want to see my sons at your right and at your left. I want to see them in positions of authority. I want to see them reach greatness. Now, good for their mom, right? We all want our kids to succeed. But Jesus says, hold on. Do you know what you're asking? He said, do you know, are they going to be able to drink the cup that I'm going to drink? We're not used to this language, but this was an image that reflected the cross, actually. Jesus would talk about the cup of suffering. He would talk about the cup that he would need to drink, and it foreshadowed again and again the cross. So he's letting them know, when you ask to be at my right and my left, when you ask to be in my kingdom, you're actually going to suffer. Are you going to be able to do that? And he in fact tells them, you will suffer, but I'm not here to hand out positions in my kingdom. And the rest of the disciples, the other 10, they're upset. They're indignant at James and John. That they would bring their mom in. They would wrestle. They would position for authority and for greatness in the kingdom. And so Jesus, I can only imagine all the disciples like arguing and fighting back and forth over who is the greatest and how dare you get your mom on to pad your resume. We want to be the greatest. And Jesus, he undercuts the whole conversation, and he lets them know that they have misunderstood greatness in the kingdom. It's not about a position of power or authority. It's not about how we often think about greatness. Greatness in God's kingdom is actually about leveraging our power, our authority, our privilege, our position, our platform, whatever we have, on behalf of others. Right? And so he says, the one who will be first in my kingdom is the one who will be a slave to all, who will serve others. If you want to be the greatest, you have to be the one who serves others. In our culture and in their ancient culture, great people didn't serve others, right? Great people were served by others. You could count your greatness by how many servants you had. And yet Jesus says, no, in my kingdom, any power, any privilege, any prestige, any platform, anything like that you've been given, you are to leverage it. Not to get yourself higher up in the food chain, you are to leverage it to benefit others, to speak up for those who have no voice, to care for those who are overlooked, to give a platform to a new or developing leader, right? We're doing all these things to put others before. And here's the thing, Jesus actually links this, he ties this into the very gospel, because he says in this last sentence, because the Son of Man, Jesus is talking about himself, did not come to be served, but to serve. Jesus said, you're going to be one of my followers, then you need to look like me. I didn't come to get power for myself in this world. I didn't come to get authority, to become a ruler of the king. No, I came to serve others, to leverage all that I had, to bless and to benefit some people who could do nothing to pay me back in return. And what does he say? For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Again, we're pointed to the cross of Jesus. Jesus roots our desire, our willingness to serve others in the very work that he is going to show. Here it's a foreshadowing. It happens beforehand. But in the very work that he's referring to in the cross. We serve others because Jesus served us. We give our lives to benefit others because that's what Jesus has done for us. By serving others, we are being turned into the very gospel that we confess. We don't just believe good news. Jesus says, when you follow me, you become the good news. Community, I hope that is a blessing and encouragement for you today, that you might go out and seek to serve, not to win authority, to win position, but to leverage what you have been given, to steward it, to bless somebody else today. Why? Sometimes we do things just because it looks like Jesus. May we be the good news to somebody today, community. All right, God bless. Love you guys. See you hopefully real soon.